a good tone with a Telecaster can be pretty tough. They can easily sound too twangy, too thin, too ice-picky. But there's a couple tricks that I use to get that tele tone right every single time. Let me show you. All right, everybody, Telecaster tones. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Before we dive in, let me plug my courses real quick. There's a 20% discount because it's Christmas, and this is Joey's little present for you, for all you loyal watchers. If you want to get one of my courses, melodic soloing, power pentatonic, something like that, check out the link in the description. 20% off during Christmas time. Check it out. There you go. You're welcome. All right, let's dive right in. So you want to get that tele sound right every time, like a good balanced sound for every situation. Let's start with rhythm sounds here, and I'm gonna get to lead sounds later. So this is my current rhythm sound. And you can hear already the entire frequency spectrum is pretty even, it's pretty balanced, which is not so common for a Telecaster, right? But that's not this Telecaster alone, it's what I did with the sound. So the starting point for every tele rhythm sound should be, in my opinion, the Malcolm Young for those about to rock rhythm sound. You know, that kind of riff that he plays in the beginning. That is a great start to get your tele to sound just right. Why is that? Because the Malcolm Young sound, at least in that song, has the perfect combination, in my opinion, or for my ears and for my taste, the perfect combination of gain, compression, and clarity. And that's what you need to get right. So get a sound that has this amount of gain. However, you still need to be able to play something a little bit cleaner without rolling the volume down. So it actually still sounds clear. So I'm using the same sound with just a little bit delay, and I can still play something like this. Same sound as. So that kind of in-between edge of breakup, a little bit of distortion, that's what you need to do. That's the first step to getting the rhythm sound right and balanced. And then the next thing is called compression. With compression, it's pretty hard to show on YouTube because YouTube obviously compresses the audio so the video size is small enough for you to watch. But what I can tell you is that I'm using a compressor here with a pretty light setting. It's an opto compressor, so you could use every pedal. I'm using my Axe-Fx here, but you could use every compressor pedal, the Wampler, the Diamond, whatever you have. All of these compressors do the exact same thing. And what the difference is, I hope you can hear this over YouTube. Let's say you play a D chord here. So this is a chord without compression. And what I hear, and this is what you need to be aware of, is when I play this chord, to me, the G and the B string, they are just popping out all the time, like within the entire chord. And that is what we find difficult about teletones sometimes. I found that this imbalance between low strings and high strings with the tele is often what we find a little bit disturbing, or at least annoying. When we dial in a teletone, we feel like, oh, that sounds too harsh, it's too twangy, it's too thin, whatever. So what you can do to do this is just dial in a compressor with a normal setting, nothing special, like start with noon and just compress that sound a little bit. And we're going from this to this with compression. See, that's much more even when it comes to the frequency response. Yes, the compression actually dials down the dynamics a little bit, so obviously the sound is more compressed, as the name would indicate, but also what it does, it evens out imbalances in the frequency spectrum. I find that with a little bit of compression and the rhythm sound, the entire guitar from top to bottom string is way better balanced, and that is important when you want to get that rhythm sound right. So with compression now, the entire thing sounds like this. Nothing's popping out to me. You can play aggressive chords and play rock. But you can also play your typical country licks. That also works, and you can still sound like beautiful melodies too. So that sound is universally usable, right? It just works every time. So now let's get into lead territory here. Let's say you want to have a sound that is just juicy and fat without being too brittle and too ice picky. And what do you need to do to get a lead sound that sounds like this? To get a lead sound like this, you need to boost mids, and mids only. So what I'm doing here is I'm boosting my sound, the sound that you just heard in the rhythm section, with a high gain tube screamer. Because, you know, tube screamers tend to focus on the mids a lot. They take away a little bit of the bass and they roll off a little bit of the highs, and they bring forward the mids, like the, let's say, between 500 hertz and like 1K, which would be like the frequencies. They bring that forward, and that with the tele leads to very, very good results, because what a tele by nature doesn't have a lot of is mids. It does, when it comes with an ash body, it does have a lot of bass, and it has obviously a lot of treble. Mids, not so much. So if you boost the mids with the tube screamer, you can definitely do that. This is the sound you're gonna get. And you can riff away with that sound really, really nicely, like. That is a nice sound, I think, and it's only done with a tube screamer pretty much. There's no real secret behind this. You need to stay away from boost pedals that pronounce the highs so much, because with the tele, that's dangerous. And stay with pedals that focus on the mids. You end up with this kind of sound. And that's pretty much a couple tips how you can get your tele sound right every single time. As you saw in this video, I used a different Telecaster in the beginning, so I did this trick with two different Telecaster and it worked with both. Also, I used a Diesel VH4 amp for this kind of demonstration. It's a German high gain metal amp and it still worked. So this just goes to show these tricks work every time with every piece of gear, every amp, Marshall, Fender, Vox, whatever you have. Metal amps from Germany as well. So these things work with every type of tele and with every type of amp. And that just goes to show you can do it too. I've been Joey. I'll see you in the next one.